Welcome back to the channel, where we dissect the most shocking developments in the NFL, cutting through the hype to bring you the raw truth. Today, we're diving headfirst into a story that feels less like a strategic football move and more like a high-stakes poker game gone spectacularly wrong. The Atlanta Falcons, a franchise that just made a monumental franchise-altering commitment to a veteran quarterback, now appear to be in a desperate scramble to undo that very decision. This isn't just about a player. It's about a colossal financial misstep, a strategic pivot, and the brutal realities of the NFL's cutthroat business. We're talking about Kirk Cousins, his gargantuan contract, and the stunning revelation that the Falcons are already trying to offload him, leaving us all to wonder, how did it all go so wrong so fast? Remember the fanfare? The grand pronouncements? The Atlanta Falcons, a team perpetually searching for stability under center, finally believed they had found their savior. After years of quarterback carousel rides and dashed hopes, they opened their war chest and threw a king's ransom at Kirk Cousins this past offseason. A staggering 4-year, $180 million contract with an eye-watering $100 million guaranteed was supposed to usher in a new era of consistent quarterback play, playoff contention, and perhaps, finally, a Super Bowl push. The city buzzed with a cautious optimism, a belief that the missing piece had arrived, ready to lead them out of the wilderness. It was a bold, audacious move, a clear statement of intent from a franchise desperate to win. But in the unforgiving crucible of the NFL, dreams can quickly sour, and the best-laid plans can unravel with breathtaking speed. The 2024 season, meant to be Cousins' triumphant debut in Atlanta, quickly became a stark, brutal reality check. He appeared in 14 games for the Falcons, completing 66.9% of his passes for 3,508 yards. On paper, those numbers might seem passable, but dig a little deeper, and the cracks begin to show. A concerning 18 touchdowns were overshadowed by an equally alarming 16 interceptions. This wasn't the efficient game-managing quarterback the Falcons had paid for. This was a player struggling with consistency, making costly mistakes, and failing to elevate the team in the way his contract demanded. The dream of stability quickly morphed into a nightmare of turnovers and missed opportunities, leaving the fanbase bewildered and the front office undoubtedly scratching their heads. Now, the whispers from the league's inner sanctum are turning into shouts, painting a picture of a franchise desperate to escape a self-imposed financial straitjacket. Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports recently dropped a bombshell report indicating that NFL teams believe the Falcons are actively looking to trade Cousins. But here's the kicker, the detail that makes this situation so incredibly challenging. Atlanta wants any interested team to absorb the vast majority of what remains of his hefty $27.5 million base salary. Let that sink in for a moment. A team that just committed $100 million guaranteed to a quarterback is now trying to pawn off his salary, effectively admitting that the investment has become an albatross around their neck. This isn't just a trade. It's a plea for financial relief, a desperate attempt to mitigate a colossal miscalculation. This demand, however, immediately throws a massive wrench into any potential trade talks. Finding a team willing to take on a 37-year-old quarterback's substantial salary, especially after a season marked by inconsistency and turnovers, is like searching for a needle in a haystack. The market for such a player, under these specific financial constraints, shrinks dramatically. Most teams with significant cap space are either rebuilding and not looking for a veteran bridge quarterback at that price, or they already have their long-term solution. The Falcons' desire to offload the salary effectively limits their potential trade partners to a very select few, making an already complex situation even more intricate. And if that wasn't enough of a hurdle, there's another crucial piece to this puzzle: Kirk Cousins himself. The veteran quarterback, ever the shrewd negotiator, has a no-trade clause baked into his massive contract. This means that even if a team were miraculously willing to absorb his salary and the Falcons found a willing partner, Cousins would still have to sign off on the deal. This golden parachute, designed to give him control over his destiny, now doubles as an anchor for the Falcons, further complicating their desperate attempts to move him. He holds all the cards in this particular aspect, and his willingness to uproot his family and move to a new city, potentially for a team that might not be a contender, will be a critical factor. To truly understand the gravity of this situation, we need to look at Kirk Cousins' career arc, a journey defined by his remarkable ability to secure lucrative, often fully guaranteed, contracts. Drafted in the fourth round by Washington in 2012, Cousins defied expectations, eventually playing out his rookie deal before being franchised in consecutive seasons. He then hit the open market, signing a groundbreaking 3-year, $84 million fully guaranteed deal with the Minnesota Vikings. He continued to parlay strong performances into new contracts, agreeing to a 2-year, $66 million extension in 2020, and then another 1-year, $35 million fully guaranteed extension in 2021. Cousins has consistently demonstrated a keen understanding of his market value, securing financial security that few quarterbacks in the league can match. His move to Atlanta this offseason, a 4-year, $180 million deal with $100 million guaranteed, was just the latest and perhaps most audacious chapter in this financial saga. At 37 years old, he's proven to be a master of the contract negotiation, but this latest twist in Atlanta raises questions about the value proposition for the team signing those checks. The Falcons' dilemma is multifaceted and deeply concerning. Was the initial signing a panic move, an overreaction to years of quarterback instability? Did they overpay for a player whose best years might already be behind him? The 2024 season certainly suggests a significant misjudgment of his current capabilities. This situation not only creates a massive cap headache for the Falcons, but also sends a troubling message to the locker room and the fan base. It speaks to a lack of foresight, a desperate attempt to correct a mistake that could haunt them for years. How do you build a winning culture when your most significant investment is already being shopped around? The pressure on the general manager and coaching staff to navigate this mess, while simultaneously trying to build a competitive team, is immense. So, who would even consider taking on Kirk Cousins' contract under these conditions? The list of potential suitors is incredibly short. A team with an abundance of cap space, perhaps a rebuilding franchise looking for a veteran presence to mentor a young quarterback for a year, or a desperate contender who believes Cousins can still provide a spark. Even then, the financial commitment is staggering, and the no-trade clause gives Cousins significant leverage. Could a team like the Denver Broncos, perpetually searching for a quarterback, take a look? Or perhaps a team in a similar bind, hoping a change of scenery could reignite Cousins' career? The reality is, the Falcons are in a buyer's market, but for a very specific and likely very small pool of buyers. This rapid turn of events also casts a shadow over Cousins' legacy. Will he be remembered as the quarterback who consistently secured massive contracts, or as a player whose teams often struggled to reach the pinnacle of success despite his lucrative deals? The Atlanta chapter, if it ends as quickly as it began, will undoubtedly be a difficult one to explain, a stark reminder that even the most guaranteed money doesn't guarantee success or longevity in one place. The Kirk Cousins saga in Atlanta is a stark, brutal reminder of the cutthroat nature of the NFL. It's a tale of massive investment, dashed hopes, and the relentless pursuit of a winning formula that often comes with an astronomical price tag. The Falcons, having bet big and lost bigger, are now left navigating a treacherous financial landscape, desperate to shed a contract that has become an albatross around their neck. For Cousins, it's another chapter in a career defined by big money and often big questions. The coming weeks will reveal whether a team is willing to take on this financial burden and whether Cousins himself is ready for another unexpected move. But one thing is clear. In the NFL, even the most guaranteed contracts can quickly become the most complicated headaches, proving that sometimes the biggest gambles come with the biggest risks. What's your take on this incredible turn of events? Were the Falcons too quick to pull the trigger on Cousins? Or is this just the brutal reality of quarterback play in the modern NFL? Do you see any team out there crazy enough to take on that contract? Drop your thoughts, predictions, and even your wildest trade scenarios in the comments below. And if you're as captivated by the high-stakes drama of the NFL as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the breaking news and unfiltered analysis. We're here to break it all down every step of the way.